Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV here at the Precious Metal Summit Conference in Zurich. And it's day one in the morning. And now we want to talk to Banyan Gold, and Tara Christie, the CEO, is here with us. Good morning, Tara. Great to see you.
Good morning. Great to see you as well.
Yeah, it has been a long time that we saw us personally, but anyhow, things are improving with the gold price, silver price, everything looks good. Yeah, and of course, I'm a shareholder of the company. I want to disclose that for sure. So I saw you had, I think some days ago, some very good drill results. Maybe you want to talk first about that.
Absolutely. This has been one of our best technical years ever. I really think our team is firing on all cylinders. Those drill results, to me, people say, I see it's really meeting what we expected. We wanted to show that there's this core area with higher grade. We wanted to tweak our geological model to understand the structural controls on the higher grade. And what we're seeing is showing that we think our thesis is on track. So really excited about that. This whole year's drill program and technical program was really focused on setting ourselves up for next year, for that PEA that's coming in 2025, the resource update that'll be out before that, and our drill program for next year. So I think, we've achieved what we wanted to achieve. We're still cutting course. So yes, our results won't be back immediately. We'll have results into the new year, probably till about March, which, will give us lots of news flow for our shareholders. But what's important to me is that we've hit our technical milestones that we wanted to make.
Okay, super. So what would that mean for the future? Would that add ounces? Would that give you more confidence? Would that give you, let's say, a higher category then for the next resource estimate?
All of those, actually.
Oh, I love it.
So, the main thesis was working on the area that will be part of our PEA, right? So roughly we thought, well, where can we see the first 2 million ounces that you would mine? And can we get that grade closer to a gram? Can we get a couple of years of higher grade, maybe 1.4? And when we looked at the cutoff, we could see it was there. We heard from some of the larger companies and people, well, increased confidence in the resource, moving some stuff to indicated or ounces to indicated is important because that'll give us more confidence in your model. And the work that we did this year, we had Henry Marsden up to site, helped us really to design our program and tweak the model. And we're really pleased with what that's bringing us in terms of confidence in our resource. And we're going to add ounces. There were lots of areas where we put drill holes in where we hadn't drilled. Airstrip, we drilled on our airstrip deposit, which is higher grade overall, and we hadn't been back to drill it since 2020. So we took a new look at it. So we're going to add ounces there and potentially grade. So, we're well set up now, and I think it's going to be a great year in 2025 for us.
Okay, fantastic. I mean, I saw in the presentation, you have already like 7 million ounces, if I counted that correctly, which is already massive, I would say. Yeah, it looks like you're on the path to 10 million, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see how it goes. But what is the impact for you that you have now shown also visible gold in the core? Does that change anything? Is that a big advantage, or gives what gives that to you?
Well, visible gold we have in all of our deposit, and it's been something since the beginning. Certainly, drilling more in these higher grade areas, you're getting a greater percentage or density of that, which is always exciting. It is a challenge sometimes from a processing perspective, and because you get nugget effects, and that's why these holes that we got the over 500 grams per ton, the 290, and historically we've even had 100 over wider intervals. That can be significant when you get a high enough density and enough distribution of those. And that's something that we're really trying to understand. And we didn't do the grade smearing thing that some people did. We were really like, here are these veins, and we're starting to understand the controls on them and how they might contribute. Do we know if they get thicker? We don't know that yet, but it's kind of like a needle in a haystack looking for visible gold or coarse gold and high grade. So, but it makes it kind of fun. It's a bit of the chase for, let's try to find this higher grade section and some of these really high grade cores. There was a prospector back in the 1980s that took out 16 tons of 2-ounce material. So high grade has been there, just a prospector with an excavator and a bulldozer.
Nice.
So that's kind of what makes us think these high grades can be here. But, your comment about could there be 10 million ounces? When we went into this year, we thought about that. Do we keep drilling to get this to 10 million ounces? Because we believe that within 200 meters of surface, which the deposit, the 7 million ounces is, that's a pit constrained 7 million ounces, that was one of our drill plans, is what would get us there. So I think it has that potential. But we also know that this mineralization, we drilled that deep hole down to 650 meters, which, shows its very deep roots. And while that doesn't come into your mining plan, the deep mineralization, once you start mining, a larger company looks at that and goes, wow, if this thing is deep and you've got 7 million ounces within 200 meters, what's within 600 meters if it's mineralized at depth over a larger area? So, that's when a project can run for 20, 30, 40 years. It's a generational asset that will be really desirable to many mining companies out there. 7 million ounces is already pretty unique.
A big beast, yeah, I would say. That's for sure. Your neighbor is Victoria Gold, of course, and I want to ask, you must not answer that, but for me it's of interest, and I think also for our viewers, and I'm a shareholder in Victoria also. Tragedy with the accident, that could happen, no doubt, but nobody got killed, and I think also the pollution is really, really not real, I would say. Yeah, so a lot of luck with that also. But does it have an impact for your future business? Are you related with Victoria, or do you say, no, we are neighbors, that's all fine? Can you maybe elaborate a bit on that?
So Banyan's always been an independent company. Yeah. We have an independent board, independent chair. Yes, we shared a lot of infrastructure synergies, which helped keep our costs down. But do we need that? No, not really. This year, we've really shown that we're an independent company. We're also probably a different processing technique. When we look at our preliminary scoping studies, we looked at gravity flotation and CIL, and there's some really other methods other than heap leaching, which are probably preferable for our project. And ultimately, at these gold prices, a $2,700 gold price, you're going to pick a project that has the NPV and the IRR that's appropriate for the company that's going to build it. And quite frankly, the mill projects, you recover so much more gold that it becomes an easier decision. So, we are independent. We have made some great strides this year. Technically, it's a different style of mineralization. It'll probably be processed differently. Yes, we have our own community relations. We always have, and government relations. And I think the overhang, as you said, the issues related to the environmental pollution certainly have gotten a lot less, and the significance is probably not going to be what we thought. So I think it is a bit of an overhang in our stock. It certainly had a impact on our share price, but that's also the opportunity.
Exactly.
We've got 7 million ounces with infrastructure that's mineable. Yeah. The premier's actually said some supportive comments about Banyan's project specifically in some of the meetings that we've had. So, ultimately, yes, it's all very unfortunate. But for us, there's an opportunity for us to be the next gold mine in that district.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, super. So 2025 is in front of us. You said already you want to drill more for sure next year. What would be your longer term game plan to say, hey, you know what, we have now 7 million inferred. We want to bring maybe everything to 10 million ounces, but we need to go to indicated, measured indicated, as we know how the game is. Yeah. Yep. Maybe a first PEA then, followed by PFS, DFS, etc. I know that's still several years out, that's for sure. But how much more do you think time you need to get to the next important stages and to say, okay, here, you know what, here we stop, now we really upgrade and we really go the path to say, okay, why wouldn't we bring that in production?
I love the forward looking right into production. The steps that we did this year really set us up for that PEA. That was what this was all about this year. And while we were in a shadow, I think my team delivered on what we need for that. So I'm super excited. We're going to have news flow with results till April, May. We'll have a resource update, May, June, a global resource update that will go into what goes into the PEA, which we'll have before December of next year. And then Yeah,
Already?
so yes,
Wow.
we're going to move some to indicated. That will be part of what's in the PEA, the primary mining areas. And then next year, we're probably going to focus on demonstrating that there's 10 million ounce potential in a bit more detail, as well as also potentially looking for our intrusive source and showing that this mineralization really has some legs or continuity at depth, which I think will show just the scale potential without having to drill it out. You know, as it is right now, we're funded for 2025. And in this market, you know, I believe eventually the juniors are going to get some love, but we're also being very careful. We've got some really key catalysts for our shareholders. We're going to show that this project has a lot of value, and we'll have drilling next year so that not only do we have that PEA, but we'll have drill results into 2026, which is unlike a lot of other companies. And remember, we have revenue too, which covers part of our G&A.
That's what I wanted to ask, because I saw it in the presentation. From where comes the revenue?
From our rentals. So this year we rented out our camps to various other mining companies, as well as helped with the forest fires and accommodation. In our region, the accommodation is pretty sparse, and so there's a demand for it. And we did a few other services too. You know, we have tremendous infrastructure and equipment on our site, and so we're able to actually generate a little bit of revenue from that.
Good. Revenue is always good, I would say.
I know it's unusual, but it's been good for us this year. And it gives us a bit of a name too. You know, certainly helping with the wildfire effort shows that we were supporting the local community, and you know, and that's partly why our drilling was a little bit delayed, as we hosted the firefighters. We had 35 of them, which displaced some of our drill crews, which meant, you know, we could ramp up. We can drill year round. So yeah, we're a little delayed, but we had 3 drills by August and went through October.
Super.
We achieved our full program.
Okay, fantastic. That sounds like a good game plan. How is your share structure set up? Because I'm always a bit in fear that you are taking over maybe too early at a too low price. Because 10 million ounces, I think this is the key factor what mid-sized to large-sized companies really like.
Yeah.
And we both know exploration was the last 10 years not that much, or let's call it since the last financial crisis. So everybody's looking for M&A and buying ounces, do something here, yeah. How are you protected a bit?
Well, that's actually, people ask you what keeps you awake at night.
Yep.
That's what keeps me awake at night, is that too low a price, work too hard, big shareholders who I feel I've really got an obligation to. So I'm really fortunate to have Fidelity, Franklin, some other really long holding shareholders that understand the gold mining business and the valuation. So, you know, about 60% of my shares, I can, with 25 phone calls, I can talk to all of my largest shareholders, and, you know, 40% with 4 phone calls. So, you know, that, and I'm a 4% shareholder, so I care about getting taken out at too low a price. So I definitely am on thinking about that and wondering, how do we get our share prices? But I think the program that we're going to deliver, we delivered this year, which will give us results through 2025. In addition to what we're going to do for 2025, we should start to re-rate. And you see a lot of companies, as they move towards their PEA, you see the share price move up as the sophisticated investors start to do their own analysis on the deposit and the economics in advance of the PEA. So we've done what we can to really set it up, and I'm very defensive in making sure that I communicate regularly with my large shareholders.
That's important. Super. And I think the gold price next year will be anyhow $3,000. So from that perspective, that looks also good.
Well, we did our resource at $1,800, and
exactly.
you know, and that was only this spring.
Yeah.
And you know, you look at the change in gold price and what that'll mean for resource updates and for the prices that you can use in the sensitivity tables of your PEA.
Even if you would calculate with 2,400 long term, I mean, but still would be okay, right? Or 2,200. It's a huge change in
I haven't seen that yet in a PEA. I saw somebody use 2,150, but you know, we tend to be a little bit more conservative too, because I don't.
That's good.
You know, you can show that in a sensitivity table, what the upsize is, but you want to have a realistic PEA that people have confidence in.
Yeah, it's always important to have a positive surprise.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do, under promise and over deliver.
Exactly. Super. It was a great final word. Thank you very much, Tara. All the best. And I would say keep it going.
Thank you. And thanks for your support as a shareholder. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tara Christie, the CEO of Banyan Gold. You heard it, 7 million ounces are in the count already, on the path to 10 million ounces. There's really a lot going on. There will be a resource update. The PEA will come out next year. So really, really a lot of good catalysts, creating shareholder value and creating value for us direct shareholders, as I am. So really check out the company at those prices. It's a bargain. I can tell you, I will also buy some more. So thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Zurich.